Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/AITA. In today's episode, AITA for despising my mentally handicapped sister? Update, AITA for despising my mentally handicapped sister? AITA, it's very hydrating. AITA for refusing to pay for the whole bill? 6 people. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. AITA for despising my mentally handicapped sister? The title makes me sound horrible, but hear me out. My sister is severely autistic. She requires attention almost 24/7 and cannot be left alone. She is nonverbal and cannot take care of herself at all. Despite the fact that she is only 12, she is extremely destructive and violent and destroys anything she gets her hands on. I hate her. That should be wrong to say, but it doesn't feel like it. I was only 6 years old when she was born, and since then I've never solely had my parents' attention. Even since I can remember, the world has revolved around her. I was moved out of my room into the basement at 7 because she needed to be in the room next to my parents. All of my toys as a child were destroyed by her, and my parents simply ignored me when I complained. Even when I was 14 and she destroyed a Mac my school gave me, I was in the wrong. Along with this, I am expected to take care of her and drop everything I do for her. I can never make plans with friend because my parents expect me to be there if they need me to take care of her. Even when I do somehow get time to myself, I am required to leave if they need me. If I do not, then I am punished. The recent example of this is when I went to see the new Spider-Man movie and was grounded because I turned my phone off in the theater. It seems as if I am nothing more than a slave to them, and anything involving her simply overshadows me. This last week, I was chosen to give a speech at a school event. I was so excited, and my parents promised to be there, but they never showed and claimed it was because of my sister. Anytime anything like this happens for me, they are too busy with her. I've held this in for so long, and it finally spilled out today. While talking about colleges with my father, he joked that I should get a degree that pays well so when they're gone I can take care of my sister. I don't know why, but this caused me to break down. I cried and screamed about how it always about her. I'm nothing more than a caretaker to them, that they always make it about her, and that I'm expected to be her slave for the rest of my life. I've locked myself in my room since then, and my parents have not come to check on me. Am I the asshole here? Edit/update kinda. Wow, thank you for all the support and love that you guys have given me. I never expected this post to reach the popularity it did. Thank you all. After thinking about it for these past hours, you are right that I don't despise my sister. It's not her fault that she was born the way she is. My parents came to talk to me a while after my breakdown, but I was unable to bring myself to talk to them and only cried and asked them to leave. They have made arrangements with my grandfather for me to stay with him for the time being, and am getting ready to go to his house. My parents want to talk to me, but we have decided it's best I leave for now to have some space and time to collect myself. We will be sitting down and talking later this week about this issue. Thank you all again for the love and support through this. Love. I'll send an update your guys' way later this week if people are interested. NTA. These are perfectly legitimate and understandable feelings. You have done nothing to sign up for taking care of another human being. It's not like she's your kid, and that was wrong of your dad to joke about, because it sounds like he probably is really thinking along those lines. Be honest with your parents about how you feel. Make clear that it's insane that you're expected to be a full-time babysitter, grounded for no phone in a theater? That's bullshit. NTA kid, I hope you go to college far away from home. Later in life, make sure your parents understand that you won't be taking responsibility, so they better have care and funding in place. Go far away, procure job far away, and stay fairer away. Later in life, make sure your parents understand that you won't be taking responsibility, so they better have care and funding in place. And by later in life, he means after you secure your financial independence from them. Getting uppity like that while you're reliant on them for food and a roof over your head is a very, very bad idea. It's only when there's nothing they can do to you in retaliation that you should take the necessary steps. NTA 1. If you can, go to college far away. Time away and on your own to be just you will be good for you. 2. Because I think your dad was only half joking, at some time you will want to have a conversation that they need to plan for the care of your sister in the future. And make it clear that it is not you, especially if you feel the same way as you do now. 3. I'm really sorry your parents didn't handle this better, and I hope that one day your anger moves away from your sister. NTA. I'll tell you, dealing with an autistic sibling ain't easy. I feel so bad for you. Your parents need to plan for your sister. She isn't your responsibility. They also need current qualified caretaking and whatever aid that they can get. A kid is supposed to be growing up. It sounds like they lean on you too much. Some is fine, but not a lot. NTA. Update: AITA for despising my mentally handicapped sister? I'm back like I said I would be. My original post got a lot of attention, and seeing as you guys seem interested, here's my update. Well, since that day I made the post, I've been staying with my grandfather. The week's been honestly a huge change for me, for better and for worse, but I'll try to run it down. I started by telling my grandpa the story of why I broke down the way I did, and to be honest, he seemed horrified. No one in my family knew my parents were using me as essentially a free care service for my sister. My grandpa told me some things that I don't feel comfortable repeating here, but in essence my sister is supposed to be getting care from a professional, and that my parents were ignoring that. Along with this, I was not supposed to be caring for her at all with her mental state, as apparently she is a danger to herself and others. With everything else I told him, along with stuff like the movie Indecent, he was really mad and told me to not contact my parents without him there. He pretty much told me that he would be meeting with my parents beforehand and that he was going to be there when I sat down with them. It didn't end here either. The rest of the week consisted of other family checking in on me and telling me things my parents hid from me. This included the fact that my parents have been taking money from family to fund a caretaker that doesn't exist. Suffice to say, this week has been rough. But the upside is that even through all this, my extended family has been giving me more love than I've felt in a while. My grandfather spent this last week making up for the time I've lost, encouraging me to spend time with friends and do things I want to do. My aunts and uncles have also been helping me through the week. Well, Saturday night I sat down with parents to talk. It went badly, to say the least. They came clean to me about everything. They told me things I will not repeat here. But they did not apologize. My parents still claim that I somehow owed my sister my time. My father even saying you were put here to be her caretaker. I won't lie and say I was composed. After everything I learned, I confronted them on the fact that my sister needed a caretaker, the money my dad was taking from his sister, and a few other things. They denied it or made excuses. And in the end, we ended off in a worse place than before. Today will be my last time talking to them for a while. After talking with my grandfather and uncle last night, I'm not going back. Later today I'm going there and picking up my stuff and moving in with my grandfather. When I graduate high school, I'm planning on leaving the state to go to school. My aunt has told me that the money she was sending my dad will instead be coming to me from now on. My parents have called me twice since Saturday, neither of them were to apologize and only ask when I was coming home. I won't be going back to them. Right now I still feel pretty uneasy about everything, but I feel like that will pass. The rest of my family is showing their support to me, and honestly, it feels great. But in the end, I lost my parents. Over all of this, I've learned something that I wished I saw earlier. I don't hate my sister. In fact, I love her with all my heart. I should never projected my hate onto her. That was wrong, and someday I hope to make up for it. But for now I need to leave. So, there's my update. Thanks again for the support my original post got. I really appreciate everyone who took the time to comment or show me support. Thanks you. Edit, thank you all so much. I wish I could respond to every single one of you, but my lunch only lasts so long. I'll update tonight how the move out went, but until then, thank you all. I want to say that your support has been amazing and your kindness means more to me than anyone could ever imagine. Late edit, wow, I never imagined my story would reach the popularity it did. I know it's kinda cliche and I've said it 1,000 times, but thank you all. We just got back from moving my things out of my parents' house. Everything I wanted to take my grandpa and uncle helped move and it's at my grandpa's house now. I have my birth certificate, social security card, and every other document and record I could think of. My parents were quiet the whole time I was there. Shortly after I arrived, my dad left with my sister and my mom only hovered over us silently as we moved. It took a while, but as we left she broke down and told me she loved me and would miss me. I hugged her and said goodbye, and that was it. Even now I sit here and think if she really meant it. After this whole week of her not saying anything, she waited till the end. I hope she meant it. Right now though, I think I just need to look ahead. Maybe one day me and my parents can reconnect. I hope so. Thank you all for the advice and love. It's been amazing and I'm glad that through this experience I at least got some positive out of this mess. Will I come back? I don't know. If something happens and you guys still want an update, I'll maybe come around again. But for now I'm going to move on. For all those out there who shared their stories with me, thank you, and I hope to see you on the other side. See you Space Cowboys, smiley face. Wow. OP's grandfather is a saint. Too right, my guy. The sad thing is that he should have had to be as kind and good as he was. The parents were disgusting people who robbed someone of the necessary childhood experiences and felt no remorse for it. I'm glad your other family is coming through for you, OP. I strongly suggest you still get a therapist to help you unpack the years of harm your parents did to you. Also, yay Grandpa. He sounds awesome. Good luck, OP. Yes on the therapy. However, I would wait until you enter a college/university to begin seeing a therapist. This way, 1. You will be guaranteed confidentiality as an 18-year-old, 2. You will likely be covered under a student plan that you pay for with tuition that will make therapy free, and 3. You'll have time to compose yourself when you're alone and really be able to sort out your feelings. This update is a needed one. My heart broke reading your original post. While things aren't on great terms with your immediate family, it truly warms my heart to see that your extended family is going through great lengths to make up for lost time. While your road ahead may be dark and bumpy, know you have a lot of love surrounding you, here, and with your extended family. We are all rooting for you. Go, enjoy your freedoms, and be loved. My parents have called me twice since Saturday, neither of them were to apologize and only ask when I was coming home. So many red flags, but this, I'm speechless. Glad you got them out of the way. Good luck in your new life. They want OP to come home because they're exhausted from dealing with the sister without a break. Obviously, I can't know that for certain, but I feel like that's the case. I'm glad you have such an amazing family, especially your gramps and aunt. I hope you'll get to spend a lot of quality time with them. You all deserve that happiness and strong bond. Regarding your parents, I know it's extremely hard to essentially lose them, but to be honest, it doesn't sound like they ever cared that much except having a free caretaker. You're so much better off without that. I wish you the absolute best for your future. May you be happy with your new life and get into the school of your dreams. You've got the whole world in front of you, take it by storm. AITA, it's very hydrating. This has been bugging me for a few days. Went to dinner with my wife recently to a relatively nice place, $30 to $45 PP mains. Quick side note, we're both in our 30s and both work in hospitality and worked in kitchens for years, so we're generally on our best behavior at restaurants. Anyway, we sit down and are greeted by a young woman, early 20s, who drops some menus and asks if we want to start with still or sparkling water. I looked at the drink menu and saw the still was $9 and the sparkling was $12. Neither of us care that much about fancy water, so I said tap is fine. She gave a sort of grimace and a small noise. I asked, is there something wrong with the tap water? She replied, it's very hydrating. Followed by an awkward silence. This was very strange to me, so I essentially repeated the question with slightly different verbiage and once again got, it's very hydrating. I looked at her with an expression of please explain. More silence. Eventually, I asked, what does that mean? She said, with no emotion, it will hydrate you. Now I'm feeling weird about the whole situation. And I flat out asked, with no expression or connotation, what's wrong with the tap water? You guessed it. It's very hydrating. I stood up and told my wife we're going. Before my wife even realized what was going on, the waitress said, have a blessed day, with the smuggest smile I've ever seen. Am I in La La Land here? The triplicate response seems really dumb for someone who was a professional at hospitality. Anyway, my wife suggested I took it too far by leaving. In my opinion, I didn't take it far enough and should have spoke to a manager. But life's short and I didn't. AITA? Update 1, my wife was cool with leaving. We have a very equitable relationship. If one of us says to the other we're leaving, or any variation of that, we trust each other to know we made the right call and we'll figure out the rest later. Update 2, this is in America. I'm from near there and have had the tap water in the vicinity several times, without issue. Update 3, types of water. In my area, it's pretty normal to have 3 choices of water at a restaurant. 1, still. This is fancy water in a 1L glass bottle, with no bubbles. This was the $9 option. 2, sparkling water in a 1L glass bottle was $12. 3, tap water, free. This option was not presented to me, but is a choice if the diner asks. I think the waitress was a spy. You accidentally spoke the code phrase, is there something wrong with the tap water, and she gave you the confirmation code, it's very hydrating. You were supposed to give her the microchip, that's why she kept giving you the confirmation code. That waitress was judging you because you don't want to spend $9 to $12 on water. The insane thing about American tipping culture is OP and his wife deciding to drink tap water cost the waitress $3 to $4. She wasn't actually judging them for drinking tap, she was trying to shame them into spending, and therefore tipping more. NTA, next time instead of a tip leave her a note that says money can be exchanged for goods and services. NTA, a good restaurant is in business to provide guests with a good dining experience. This waitress is chasing off good business. I'm fairly certain her manager would like to know that this waitress is damaging their business and their reputation. That waitress has no business working in a fine dining establishment. Pretty sure charging $9 for what is probably bottled water is what is driving business away. NTA, it is more than likely that she was judging your choice, thinking you were cheap. Although there is another possible scenario. You know when something is objectively bad, but you're not allowed to criticize it, so you find a way to compliment something random. Like you're at a friend's house, and they've just cooked a meal that doesn't taste very good. You can't bring yourself to criticize their cooking directly because you don't want to hurt their feelings, so you say something like, wow, your presentation is really something else tonight, or these plates look so fancy. That could be what happened here. Their tap water may not have been great quality, or it could have had an odd taste. As the waitress couldn't think of a positive way to describe the tap water, she just went with hydrating. NTA. The waiter was rude when she repeated her response after you asked for clarification. You asked a legitimate question for her to explain her reaction to your asking for tap water. I would have left, too. I think you should contact the owner or manager. When people pay a lot of money for a meal, they deserve polite service. It was an annoying answer, but I'm willing to bet she's been told she can't tell people the tap water tastes bad. So she has had to come up with something to say that isn't a lie but also isn't going to get her in trouble. You aren't TA for being irritated, though, and leaving. I was traveling recently and was sat in the bar at a hotel. There was a restaurant on the 20th floor and I asked the bartender if it was good. He told me it was a nice space and great for taking Instagram photos. I asked him if the food was good and he just repeated the IG line. I got the message and went to eat somewhere else. Suspect you had the same type of thing going on here. AITA for refusing to pay for the whole bill? 6 people. It has been a very dramatic couple of weeks. I am currently on holiday in my country of birth. I suggested an old friend of mine join me to get dinner. He asked me whether he could bring 3 women and a man he is cool with, which I agreed to. I also suggested we go to the place I rented after dinner as it was pretty nice. I suggested the restaurant, and everyone was fine with the location. We got there and everyone started ordering, cocktails, lobster, sushi, everything was fine, we were having a laugh. The bill came. It was €770. I told my friend we should all split evenly, he was cool with it, and the other guy said he was kind of broke right now and could only spend €25 despite eating close to €100 worth of food or more. I knew things were about to go south. 2 of the women were on their phones silent and disengaged, and the other woman had the audacity to openly and confidently suggest I be a gentleman and cover the bill as you are clearly doing better. I asked her why she'd assumed that and she said that's what it seems like on IG. Mind you, all I have on my IG are pics of holidays and business-related stuff. No fast cars or any of that. I told them that I didn't know them and that this was not a date. She said that they didn't expect to have to pay. My friend said he isn't dating them either, he met them all at work. I was getting upset at the entitlement and asked my friend whether he told them anything pointing towards me paying. He said he didn't and that each of them always pays for their own things. I suggested he deal with them as he invited them over. It became a back and forth with the 3 of them of too expensive and not fair. It was fair when they were ordering like they had a money fountain clearly, but not when it was time to pay. I got fed up and said that I was not even going to split it evenly anymore and just cover my spend, €52, and that I was going home on my own, which seemed to offend them even more than splitting the bill. I stood up, went to the counter, told the waiter what I consumed and that each would pay for their own stuff, paid and went back to the table. Apparently, aside from my friend, none of them had enough for the bill, or so they said. I felt a little bad as they were trying to figure out how to pay, but I ultimately didn't and instead, I ended up being petty and giving a big tip to the waiter in front of them. Had they not been entitled about it and said it before agreeing to come, I would have at least considered it. But not like this. AITA for refusing to pay for the whole bill? NTA. You asked your friend to join you for dinner, and he asked to bring multiple friends, and you agreed. You never said you were taking them all out or treating anyone to dinner. You're all adults, and if they were short on cash, they shouldn't have agreed to the restaurant or ordered so much food. They could have asked before ordering like you mentioned, as well. If your friend told them you were treating them all to dinner, then he's the AH for bringing in extra 4 adult mouths without discussing the payment with you first. Thanks, it was a very awkward moment, to be honest. I just don't understand how anyone would assume someone they don't know would pay for them just because. Also should be ex-friend. Who does this? Oh, let me invite random people for you to pay for dinner for okay. NTA, I never understood why people who can't afford it go out for meals. They acted entitled and rude, and had to face the consequences. I'd suggest discussing payment before you order the food next time. At work we have Christmas dinners in our section, and even then I assumed we had to pay. I only found out on the end of the meal that it was a treat from the company. Anytime someone invites me for a meal somewhere, I always count on paying. NTA. 770 euros? You never insinuated or stated you were paying, and they ate far more than they could afford. In some cases, you might pay extra to cover others' meals, just to keep the peace, as frustrating as it is. But that's a huge amount of money. No way on earth any reasonable human being would expect someone they've never met before to pay for that. They can fix their own mistake. They ate far more than they could afford. This is the part that really gets me even more than their assumption of not paying. They thought someone else was paying, so they ordered what seems like the most expensive things on the menu. That's incredibly tacky even if OP actually was paying. NTA. They are leeches. Sounds like they're used to doing this as a group. The good news is your friend is on your side, so he's not in on it, he just needs to keep better company. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.